What's going on, you mouth-hugging mastodon mongers? Welcome to Grunt Speak.
Live from the lair, you bastard.
I'm Gleep Glap Let's Floop-de-Doo. Welcome to Thought Thursday. What's going on? Aside from a sciatic to dungeon of hell it was in, I was like literally eating my tuna melt. Oh, you know what? I finished. Probably should get up, take a piss. All of a sudden, I stand up.
Yep.
And then I drop to my knees, and my wife's like, "You okay?" I'm like, "I'll be right back." Crawl to the bathroom.
All right. So what
Sucks.
actually happened to you is your extended warranty is now gone.
I understand this.
Like, quite frankly, they pulled the carpet out from under your
I know.
feet.
I've got like, I got what, 16 days left on the extended warranty.
No, it's gone.
Yeah.
That's a main hint right there.
I'm fucked.
Like, my back started getting really bad around 38-ish. I mean, because it was kind of screwed up after getting blown up in Iraq.
Yeah. My back problems run in my family.
Yeah, well, you need to get yourself on the horse sauce.
Oh, yeah. Get me some glucosamine. Loosen up my joints.
Just
and
buy the
shit.
horse sauce. It has everything in it. It's got the glucosamine, the MSM, the hydrolonic acid. It's got a cat's claw for irritation. You just
Cat's claw?
Yeah. You just have to get beyond the picture of the horse on the bottle.
Is it literal, like, ground up cat's
No.
claw?
It's
Okay,
an-
because
it's
that's
an-
fucked up.
It's an herb. It's an herb.
I don't want to eat chunks of asshole animals.
No.
I'd rather eat bacon because, pigs are kind of nice.
Yeah, you're right there. I myself have never eaten a cat, so.
No, well, not that you know of. Having toured the world and eaten all kinds of crazy stuff, it could be like a Demolition Man situation. You never know.
Yeah.
This is the best burger I've ever had. This is a rat burger. Well, it's the best burger I've had in years.
And listen, I've eaten squirrel. It's not that bad. I've had rabbit. Let's see. My team I was with, we did eat one of those big, what is it? South America. It's one of those things that lives on the river, swims around. It's like a capybara thing. It's like a giant rat.
Okay.
It's like a mix between a rat and a beaver.
I don't know what specific animal you're talking
No, I don't know the name of it, but it wasn't good.
about.
No, wasn't good.
Well,
But you get hungry, and they're like, "Hey, this is what we're eating." You're like, "All right, serve it up, motherfucker."
hey, if you're hungry enough, anything will do.
Well, listen, I have sat there with my team eating some of the most vile shit, and all of us are like,
The vomit.
"You okay? I'm fine."
Totally fine.
But you're so fucking hungry.
Wash it down with some ouzo.
God, that's so disgusting.
I love telling that story and watching people just be like,
God.
looking like Stewie when he realized he was sucking on Peter's nipple. Like, why would you tell me that? It's funny. It's disgusting. I know, right?
I gotta turn the phone down. I didn't turn it off.
But since it is Thought Thursday, before we get into our thoughts, specifically, I wanted to make sure that we paid tribute to a real American badass.
Yes.
I heard about this a few days ago, and I was like, well, we definitely got to talk about this. And they tied it in here on Not the Bee with a whole epidemic of self-deletion in the SEAL community. If you guys have heard of this guy,
It's happening.
Navy SEAL Mike Day. Back in 2007, he was in a firefight in Fallujah. He took 27 bullets and shrapnel from a grenade, and somehow not only kept fighting, but killed all the dudes who were trying to kill him.
Yep.
And made it back home.
That's a bad motherfucker.
Unfortunately, a couple weeks ago, he decided to evict from his meat suit. Gary Sinise here, he's always been very big with
Yes.
the military guys. 13 days ago, America lost a great American hero, U.S. Navy SEAL, retired Silver Star recipient Mike Day. Mike was shot 27 times in a gunfight in Iraq in 2007, and I had the privilege of visiting him in the hospital shortly thereafter. Just an amazing guy. So there's Lieutenant Dan and Mike Day. And this guy, Froggy here, he's also a veteran. Was talking about how he's heard about this happening all over the place. CEO of ST1 at Christmas, followed by an East Coast junior officer, Mike Day. And then over the Easter holiday, a CL-06 attempted to OD, but fortunately failed. Mighty Oaks FDN is experiencing explosive demand for the Men's Legacy program with 800 plus on the waiting list. And this is happening throughout SOCOM. But what really stuck out for me among this tweet thread is this right here. And I think that a lot of veterans out there can identify with this. Oh, sorry about that.
Did you fuck?
For myself, the anxiety I am experiencing lately is related to watching a nation I once served and admired turning violently against its principles. Perhaps it never really had them. My military career feels like wasted time now. Well, when you look around at what's going on, about how, the upper tiers of government are embracing, you can't really fault them.
Well,
I'm talking about for this.
Oh, for
thing.
Frog. Yeah,
I'm not talking about for self-deleting. I'm talking about for this.
I mean, he's caught in the combat feedback loop.
Yeah.
And I just literally, I brainstormed this on the board here, just for like an explanation of just a brief, quick explanation of what goes on. All right. So over here you have home. And over here you have war. Okay? They mobilize you. They send you over to war. And, as a Tier 1 SEAL, and this also applies to a lot of the guys who actually went there with combat jobs.
Yeah.
All right, you see a lot of chaos. All right, you deal with a lot of pain, death, fear. And another thing that was almost, I would say, equally as destructive was toxic leadership.
Dina.
Yeah, that was stateside, but I have seen all kinds of toxic, incompetent motherfuckers in charge of people, making all kinds of horrible decisions, which ramps up all of this stuff. Now, while you're over there, and it's amazing how the human mind does it, but the human mind actually adapts to this environment. I did a whole video on PTSD about it, where I showed what your brain is like before you go to war and what it's like after. And once you come back from war, it doesn't go back. You are always forever going to be adapted to this environment until your dying fucking day.
Which explains why your brain doesn't filter out stimuli it doesn't want.
Yeah. And then you come back from war, you're at home, and you're expecting peace, contentment, stability, and dare I say, a little bit of boredom. Okay, but a lot of problems spring up over here, such as PTSD. Because this stuff here, people think it doesn't bother you. You have a buffer in your brain. Once you get exposed to enough of the shit, you're going to get that. All right. Then you have the mind adapted to living in a war zone. And one of the things that still plagues me is one of the mental tricks that I had to do to keep doing my job every day is I had to realize that I was already dead. That, I'm just a walking corpse. I'm already dead. Let's just do what we got to do. All right. But you got to be careful with that. And I didn't know this at the time. When I came back from Iraq, I have never been able to turn that off. All right. Then you have family crap, divorce, other mental disorders that come along with all this tension, like depression and anxiety, all exacerbates in this. And all it really takes, the thing that keeps a dude going here is hope. All right. Now, you stay here and you're at home and you think everything is supposed to be hunky-dory. You're watching the country implode. You see people, basically gearing up for a two-way rifle range, and you know it's coming. You have problems getting divorced. you know, kids, judges, you have everyone and their mother in your fucking face, and you think, well, maybe I'll get a fair deal in court because I'm a veteran. They hate those guys the worst.
Right. Yeah, it sure didn't help you.
Yeah, so, I mean, it almost got me. And the only reason it didn't is a former commander killed himself like 4 or 5 days before I was planning to do almost the exact same thing at the exact location. He just picked a place that was more scenic than I did. That's it. But, I mean, this can happen to anyone. All right? And another thing, I talked to all kinds of friends of mine, and throughout the years, people have gone to combat, and they always complain about this one thing. While they're home, they want to go to war. And while they're at war, all they want to do is go home. And they're literally stuck in this, their mind is stuck in a limbo between these two things. You know, that, coupled with PTSD, loss of hope, fear, pain, trauma, the toxic leadership. And then they, it just gets to the point where a guy's like, oh, I had enough. He just lost his last dribble of hope. Like, I just buried one of my former soldiers about 3 weeks back.
Yeah.
Who literally came home, was in an argument with his wife, he said, fuck it, walked out in the front door, 380 to his head. All right. So,
That's man.
And granted, I'm a grunt. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not going to give you all of the, fancy psychologist lingo. I'm just telling you, in a very grunt way, this is exactly what has taken place. And I have done everything in my power to try to help the vets out there. I did the PTSD one. I did the video called Lens of Depression, where when you're stuck in this mindset, every little anthill is a goddamn mountain you got to climb, and it further destroys your hope.
Yep.
That's it right there.
And then that's what's happening to these guys.
Yes. It happened to me.
They can't deal with it.
No. I wrote a whole book about it.
Yeah. So drink 'em if you got 'em. Raise one to Mike Day and all the other fallen veterans who just keep self-deleting, man. It's an epidemic. It really is.
Yep. Because, listen, to do those Tier 1 upper combat jobs, they beat the shit out of you. And they change you. And that's just the nature of the beast. They want you to be a certain way. But what most people don't realize, and this is actually mentioned in the Bible, you don't ever forget that stuff. It never goes away. Never. And the key is when you come back home, you got to learn how to harness all of this chaos, pain, and all this bullshit and put it into something positive that will assist your life. And I don't have all those answers, but that's what needs to happen.
No one's got all the answers, not down here.
No.
We do what we can. And it's really all any of us can do. We do our best.
You're absolutely correct.
But this is Thought Thursday, right? So we need to talk about the real victims out there. Like Dylan Mulvaney.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
I can't believe it. I'm an easy target.
Uh-huh.
I love that. The headline says it all. Laments the person who banked $1.5 million last year and now has the ear of the President of the United States.
Correct.
Oh, you're such a victim. Every media conglomerate, corporation, tier of government, they're all pushing your bullshit for you, and you're so marginalized.
Yep.
Sure. The reason I think I'm an easy target is because I'm still new to this. Being an attention whore? No, I'm pretty sure you've been that all your life.
Well, he's been doing this crazy stuff for a couple of years, trying to get famous.
Yep. So let's see. In the past year alone, pulled on $1.5 million in endorsements for women's products and other consumer goods. Isn't that amazing? I mean, isn't it just such a great time to be a woman? Especially a feminist. You spent all these years bitching about a war on women that didn't really exist. Now it exists. In fact, it's of your own making.
That's right.
And no one will listen to you because you did this. You cried wolf too many times.
Yeah, and it's I just covered that too. The victim thing.
Yeah. It's quite pathetic. And, of course, Drew Barrymore, that's the reason why this mother fornicator is even in the public eye at all. Really, Drew Barrymore? Like, your childhood enough wasn't embarrassing?
Yeah, I don't know.
Come on.
Listen,
I love this.
And this is one of the things they do. They do this crazy-ass shit. You know, grooming kids, doing all kinds of stuff. And then they fall back on being the victim and, like, hoping for sympathy. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck is wrong with you? You're not a victim. You're a perpetrator.
Exactly.
And even if you are truly a victim, you don't stay in that mindset because it doesn't go anywhere good.
Socrates in the chat says, Drew Barrymore is on her knees in front of a man again? Shocker. Well, that is how she got the latter half of her career.
Yeah, yeah. Though
she was a kid.
She was in that zombie thing where it was on, I think, on Netflix or maybe it was on Hulu.
I don't know. I haven't seen anything new with Drew Barrymore in years.
Well, this was a few years ago, but she's basically turned into a zombie and she has to eat human flesh, and then it really bothered me. I'm not a cannibal guy, but my kids liked it. I couldn't stand it.
Naturally. Oh man, what's even funnier than that though is that, I mean, when you boil this all down, you're talking about a section of people who either psychologically project, you know, meaning they're like, well, you know I do this, so I have to accuse you of it so that the spotlight isn't on me, or you pretend to be something that you're not.
Yep.
Dylan Mulvaney, well, we got the psychological projection half right here, and they're not too far removed.
No, they're not.
College photos of the marketing VP who wanted to kill Bud Light's fratty image may have killed the entire brand. Well, let's see. She's drinking Rolling Rock, which is owned by Anheuser-Busch.
I gotcha.
And it turns out that she was quite fratty. So could it be that she was...
Now, in my opinion, you know, if I was a betting man, I would bet that she's a prostitute.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
that's one.
Just like Drew Barrymore, she has spent a lot of time on her knees in front of men.
Yeah, and the thing that, you know, normally pictures like this, I don't care.
Oh, I don't care either.
People in college do college stuff.
Yeah.
But she dared to get on TV or on, you know, a video of her saying bratty frat boy shit.
Yep.
Like, okay, now that is unkosher.
Well, it's, in this case, just like I was saying, it is psychological projection. She did the fratty thing. In fact, she probably did at least half the guys in the frat. And now that she has to embrace this woke nonsense, she has to divert attention from her own past, and the best way to do that is to pretend like it never happened in the first place and try to call it out like she's somehow above it. Like, no, none of us were above it when we were in college. This is what we all did.
Yeah, and she deleted all that stuff.
And it's fine if you did this in college.
Yeah.
We don't care.
No, I could care less.
Just don't try to pretend
that
like somehow now your policies with beer are going to undo this kind of shit. Like, what, do you want no one to have fun?
Well, here's the thing. Like, quite literally, Budweiser is a very famous brand. I mean, hell, 20% of the people who watched the Super Bowl watched for the commercials.
Yeah.
They listen, they had great commercials back in the day. And this one thing, because of this stupid Kuantahaha, sounds refreshing, but it really isn't, who was taught what to think and not how to think, is out there making marketing decisions based on what she was taught or how to think. And she's thinking, we got to include everybody. It's got to be fair. Well, guess what? This is a capitalist society. The customer is always right. You make a product that the customer likes, you stay in business. You don't, you fucking go out of business. It's just that simple.
Yep.
There you go.
Yeah. And no one really has time for your psychological projecting, holier than thou bullshit. No one really bought it in the first place, which is why Budweiser, Anheuser-Busch is on the cusp of losing about $7 billion in market cap in less than 2 weeks.
Yeah, well,
that is substantial by any metric.
Well, here's the thing. Budweiser is a huge selling beer.
Yeah.
Number
one selling beer for years and years.
Yeah, and now the demand is dried up, and it's been going on for about 3 weeks, in my opinion. We need to keep this up until they go out of fucking business.
Yep.
We need to set an example and draw a hard line in the sand. And listen, this is, again, in the culture war, what we're seeing with Bud Light is the equivalent of naval bombardment on your lines.
Yeah. And what's hilarious is that you can tell by their radio silence on social media that they were praying this was going to go away.
Yeah.
Instead, it became mimetic.
Yeah.
And people are remembering it because of that. They fucked up so bad. And her statement after the fact didn't help at all.
No.
In fact, it made things much, much worse.
Mm-hmm. And I really, just think of all of that marketing money Budweiser has spent over the past 20 years is now all up in smoke.
Yep.
Because, listen, there's a lot of people who are not going to go back to Budweiser ever again.
Yeah.
Because of this.
People are done with it. And the more people dig into this, they're also digging into Mulvaney and finding more about his past.
Yeah.
It gets worse and worse the more you dig into it.
Well, the women are starting to get upset at the fact that he is basically trying to sell women's products, and he's only been playing the trans thing for about a year.
Yep. Yeah. Isn't it hilarious? Now you have a TikTok trend. I think the Quartering covered this today. Now you have a TikTok trend of actual women backlashing against the shit.
Yeah.
And what are they going to do? What are you going to call them all bigots? No. Not everyone who believes in biology is a bigot.
Mm-hmm.
Biology is innate. It's like math. It either adds up or it doesn't. And no amount of blame or shame is going to magically change your chromosomes.
But when you're basically thinking that these individuals have some type of logic or credibility when they call you a bigot.
Yeah.
They literally don't.
No.
And they have as much power as they have right now because they've been able to use that tactic to shut everyone up.
Yeah.
But now we're waking up. We're saying, oh, wait, this is so fucking stupid.
I mean, I knew a long time ago that if you're trying to have a logical discussion with someone and they resort to name-calling, they've lost. They just don't want to admit they've lost. And now you basically have the media and the government and, big tech collaborating with these people so that when bigot doesn't work, censorship is the last line of defense.
Yep.
It's pathetic. You're weak. Just admit it. You're losing, and it fucking terrifies these people because they've thrown so much money and so much clout behind this bullshit, and the internet is forever.
Yes.
So they can't do the thing they used to do and say, well, I thought it was a bad idea all along.
They're trying that.
Of course they are.
Yeah, I mean, they're like, well, we weren't notified they were going to do this. Somebody went off the rails and did that without permission.
Sure.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
They had an easy out.
Yeah.
Anheuser-Busch did. When this was released on April 1st, they had an absolute easy out. Oh, it was just an April Fool's prank. That's all it was. We did it for clicks. No big deal. But no, they had to double down.
Yeah, they have to double down. And listen, the trans community is microscopically small when you compare it to the actual gross population of the country.
Damn right.
There's absolutely no logical reason why you have to do this to a brand that is historically marketed to men and pull this horse shit. There's absolutely no logic behind this whatsoever.
Not at all.
And I bet you this woman has a degree in marketing.
Women being 68% of the marketing employees out there
Mm-hmm.
really says a lot about how this happened. I was going to say But you had a perfect segue into this when you were talking about things being microscopically small.
Here we go.
That leads us into the next one here. So this article I came across today while I was looking for other stuff, and I thought it was so hysterical because, dudes, we've been telling you for the longest time, in the modern dating market, you can't win.
Nope.
Women will tell you one thing and do the opposite. They will claim they want one thing and desire the polar opposite. Well, just feast your eyes. I fell for this shit once. Star of Netflix comedy Beef, Ali Wong, reveals the secret way to tell if men have a micropenis. And you want to know what that secret way is? If you wait for sex.
Okay. So if you try to get them on the first date, you're a pig. And if you don't, you have a micropenis.
Isn't it amazing how that works?
Confusing much?
Little bit.
Wow. Well, and listen, women always, they're losing the argument when they look at you and like, well, you're just mad because you have a small penis.
Yeah.
You can't get laid.
You can't get laid. You hate your mother.
Gay. Like, get the fuck out of here.
And I'm sorry, when the hell was anyone ever going to a 40-year-old chick who clearly has issues? I mean, you can see the crazy eyes and the 1,000 Kiyaka stare 100 miles out on this bitch. Who went to you for advice and asked you about this? No one.
I don't know, man. All I could say is it's like in the playbook of women, insulting a man's penis is like in the top 10.
Yep.
It's because he's got a small dick and he's trying to trap you. Do not fall for that trap.
Well, you know what? You really shouldn't fall for women who sleep with you on the first date either. But, that we get called sexist bigots for pointing that out.
Well, don't I have a saying? You don't go to the 304 tree and shake it and expect a wife to fall out.
And when you look at this woman, she is definitely at least a former 304.
Well, and this whole actor thing is insane. I mean, she's walking around in public in that. What is that?
I don't know. She looks like she's wearing a parachute.
Yeah. or her bedding.
Yeah. I got nothing. It makes no sense to me. So, I wonder what her husband Justin has to say about this. It'd be hilarious. Oh, they're divorced. Oh.
That's a shocker. How old is she now?
40.
Oh, yeah.
She's on her way out.
Yeah, she's on her way out.
And, same thing happens to all these women who have smashed into the wall. They're on the other side of it, and they see all these up-and-coming young hotties going for the men who are technically in her age bracket, and she's pissed off, so she's trying to trip up everybody coming up the rear.
All I can say is this, she's going to be following right behind Drew Barrymore and some of those other female stars who literally age out of the refrigerator. They're no longer in they are aged out. They are left on the counter to rot.
Yeah, they're like banana pudding, man.
No, left out of the refrigerator.
It's just really brown and gross, and I kind of don't want it anymore.
That's nasty.
It seemed fresh, but, I mean, taking it from the fridge to the table, all of a sudden it looks disgusting now. I mean, what do you want?
Yep, that's the way it goes. This is insane.
It is just, that's what I see, though. I see when these women, they hit like their late 30s, early 40s, it's like they deliberately go out of their way to try to trip up all the women who are coming up on their heels.
Yeah, like women give terrible relationship advice. Yeah. Why do women ask women these things?
Women keep women single.
Mm-hmm. Is she a comedian or something?
Apparently. Yeah.
Okay.
Star of the comedy show Beef, whatever the hell that is. If it's on Netflix, odds are probably 70-30. It's a piece of shit. They've even taken good series or series that started good and turned them into shit.
Yep. And they're feeling it now because this is a capitalist system and people are not watching their shit.
No.
Because they have lost touch with the average person.
Yeah. All you have to do is look. There was a video that was posted today on a high school campus. Some transformer decided to show up with their little flag and stage a little one-person protest. The kids, not teachers, not security, no one else, the kids ripped the flag out of his or her hands and ran off. And they all started chanting like, screw you, we don't want you here, this is not, no.
Yeah. Listen, bringing that shit in the schools is only done for one reason and one reason only, and that is to groom.
Yep.
If they can't groom, they're going to run out of room and they're going to die.
Yeah.
Because they're not having kids. They're not passing on this lunacy to their own children because they're all sterilized.
Yep.
And they want to pass the lunacy to your kids, and it's up to you to stop that from happening.
Yeah. And the only ones who are in this so-called community who are going to be able to pass it on are just the perverts.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the ones who commit multiple murders and then suddenly identify as a woman in prison so they can transfer it to a women's prison and start raping and knocking up women there.
Yep.
That never happens. Go to womenarehuman.com if you want to see a collated bunch of examples. It seemed like that site was in a really good position to like make a big splash, especially right now, but then they stopped writing for it. I'm so sad.
Bummer.
Bummer. Not that I agree with feminists on anything except this, but I'm just saying.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, you're seeing it across all of entertainment, like The Witcher.
Yeah,
Like,
that's a big
they
one.
hire a bunch of writers who laugh at the source material, don't respect the job they have or the source material, and then everyone is all shocked and surprised when the main star says, you know what? When I took this job, I said, stay true to the source material. You've gone so far off in the weeds. I'm done.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Fuck off.
And they try to say he's the problem.
Yeah, he's not the problem. It's because we have a whole generation of idiots that haven't been taught how to think.
Yep.
And we're seeing it in real time destroying this country one little cut at a time.
Amen to that. Speaking of women who drastically overestimate their market value, the headline of this one is hilarious because we're going to show you the headline, and then we're going to actually show you what this woman looks like.
All right.
You ready for this?
Yep.
You know what? Let's butter your palates with one of these.
Uh-huh.
It's quite nice right there. She's in the prone position, looking ready for a little something. It's all good.
Supine.
Boo! I'm so hot, I make men cry. I ignore texts and think guys should pay the bills.
Oh, my God. Well, first of all, this is typical.
Yes.
Women think this.
Sarah from Toronto, Canada.
Yeah.
A fashion model.
Well, she's a roomy fashion
Yes.
model.
Yeah, I think the entire catalog was aerial photographs.
Mm.
Yeah. Let's shrink this up a little bit so you can actually get like the full idea. She has gone beyond full German. She is injecting her lips with shit. Yeah, and she is obviously using filters to hide the quadruple chin effect.
Well, and she's in the middle of pulling the pin on the fat grenade. And
Oh, yeah, big time.
And listen, I have seen dozens of women built just like this sneaking out of the barracks at 5 in the morning. I've literally seen dozens of this.
Oh, yeah.
type of, this body type, everything.
Lot lizard, hog beasts. Yeah.
You do what you got to do. I'm just saying. Once they're out of the building, I don't.
I'm so hot.
None of
Just
my
like that
business.
one chick whose tit exploded. I'm so hot. I think it's really going to fall out and explode anyway.
That was terrible. That's terrible.
Seriously. I just wonder how this came to be. I think a big chunk of it is just men relinquishing their power to these hog beasts. They're so damn thirsty. They will throw chicks like this ego bones, and they don't realize that they're one of thousands trying to pepper this below average, mediocre piece of shit with compliments.
Yep.
She's getting them from everywhere. She's not even a 4, for fuck's sakes.
I would have to say
I
no.
just don't get it. And you see this? These weren't left open to titillate you fellas. It's because they really don't fit.
She's got a fupa.
The fupa and the second scrotum. Yeah. Oh, my gosh. One of her latest captions on the site read, "If you're not crying and sliding down the wall in slow motion when I leave you undelivered, I don't want it." And I love this. I'm so hot I make men cry. No, honey.
How old is this woman?
She's in her 20s. Just understand something, Sarah. Okay? They're not crying because you're hot. They're crying because you're too heavy for cowgirl. You're crushing their pelvis. You need to stop.
Or back pain.
Put the dick down and pick up the meth instead. That'll at least help you lose weight.
Yeah, meth and dicks.
Meth and dicks. When you go too far with one, I guess the other's your salvation.
I guess so. Wow.
Well, because when you go too far with the meth, you lose all your teeth, and then you become the gummy person at the glory hole. You can't bite anybody. It feels like, well, you don't have to worry about work liability insurance, so they give you a worker's bonus.
They are the toothless goat.
Is that a carrot? I'm just imagining one of these bitches looking like the creature from Goat Simulator on the other side of the frickin' glory hole with its tongue just like flapping all over the place and its head turning around 360 degrees like Linda Blair.
Yep.
It's Bad News Bears.
Linda Blair.
And she's not the only one. This was sent to us by a fan here. It's part of a reaction video, but I'm going to play you the first part. The chick who says this naturally crops her shots of herself, vertical video, to like right here.
And we know why.
And when you see the real deal, you'll see why.
Uh-huh.
I've never had a wealthy, fine man ask me what the fuck I bring to the table.
1, 2, 3. Bullshit! Of course they do.
All right, now, you see, like, the width of her face
Yep.
is almost as long as her face is tall.
Yep. And she's lighting deliberately from above. She's not using a ring light. You can tell because of the shadow under her chin.
Yeah.
Most people use ring lights because they're supposed to be more flattering, unless you're 400 pounds. Then it highlights every nook and cranny up in here.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm looking at her, I'm thinking she's 250. Just
More than
I've
that.
never had that. Never. Because you know why? Because one, they brought the table and they brought the cutlery and they brought the meal and they brought the wine, and I showed up and I looked pretty and I was funny. Because they already saw my value before I even opened my fucking mouth.
So this is a woman who admits that women have no value outside of their looks.
Here you go. Slow clap.
At least you admit it.
Yep.
And of course they had to bring the table. You probably fucking ate it. With all the turkey on it. Oh, man, there's more. I want to see. There's a part in here that actually shows her full body.
Here we go.
Are you ready for this?
Here we go.
About it. How can a 400 plus woman
That's
sit
her.
up here talking
That's
about
400
how she
pounds.
sit there and look pretty? How, sis? How you look pretty when you sitting at almost 400 pounds? I mean, come on, let's call a spade a spade. Get triggered if we must, but these broads need to be humbled.
Wow.
If you have not yet subscribed to Chantel Simone on YouTube, she only has 46,000 subs. She's criminally undersub. In fact, Pop, you haven't subscribed to her. I'm going to fix that right now.
All right.
She does good stuff, and this is just one of her videos. I got a huge kick out of this one. Definitely check her out. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, oh, I'm pretty, I'm funny. You could just look at me and you see what I bring to the table. Like, yeah, I'm looking at you right now, and I don't think the table can support your weight.
Yeah, and we're actually, there's a bunch of individuals out there who are referring to me and you as racist.
Of course.
Because we are affiliated with Hammerhand.
Oh yeah, because every single leftist, if they were to be held up as a litmus test next to the company they keep, would totally not be a rapist, pedophile.
Yeah. I don't remember the channel. I just blocked them. I left a couple comments, and then I'm like,
Was it that fat bitch with the horrible grill who laughs like a hyena with a freaking ferret stuck up its ass?
No, there is not a picture of her. It's a cartoon kind of thing.
Oh, shocker, yeah.
Yeah.
Another avatar. Yeah, it's just makes all the sense in the world.
Yeah, I'm sure it's going to work out for you. Oh, here we go.
This next one here is my absolute favorite.
Right, now, before we go, I'm just going to say, what the hell were you thinking? When you fuck around with that kind of shit, you don't know what you're doing. You could wind up dying or fucking up the rest of your life badly.
Yes. So, But let's say this before we even show this article.
Okay.
The only reason articles like this are possible is because way too many men feed these hog beasts attention.
Yes.
And women, let's be honest, modern women, most of you are stupid, and you equate sexual attention with value.
Yeah, it's not the same.
Nowhere near the same thing.
Yeah.
Especially when you take into account, the gigantic beached whale who said that, you can just look at her and see her value. Well, you look at a woman like this, you're not going to see much value, but you will see a woman who married a ghost who's furious as her husband ruined her honeymoon on Barry Island.
Yeah, what a weirdo.
And this is the old story. You want to see the new one?
Yeah.
Woman who married a ghost wants exorcism as spirit husband has made her life a living hell. And you can obviously tell from just the look of this woman. She's like an ugly Elvira minus the tits. And, chemistry and charisma and actual personality.
Well, we already know that she was basically a goth girl from the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want attention. A woman who married a ghost last year has sought marriage counseling through a medium and is now considering an exorcism because her phantom hubby's making her life a living hell.
Because you don't fuck around with that.
No.
Now, listen, I have been all over the world, and I have seen things that cannot be explained. There is shit out there that will fuck you up. Don't fuck with it.
The only thing that I can explain in this is mental illness. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Rocker Brocardi, totally her given name, who married her haunting husband Eduardo on Halloween 2022, says she wants out. The singer says she married her phantom hubby just 5 months after meeting him, but now he's stalking her?
Yeah. Because you fuck around with shit. You don't mess with that stuff. You don't mess with that stuff. At least, it's one thing to go to a haunted location, set up cameras, and try to catch stuff on camera. It's a whole other animal to actually communicate with them, let alone marry. Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's probably something evil.
And of course, guess how old she is?
35.
38.
Here we go.
3 years post-wall. Is
Yep.
it any shock that she completely cracked and decided that her only salvation was to
Marry a ghost?
astral project or whatever the fuck she did?
I don't know. Obviously, she's a Fruit Loop.
A little bit.
All right. She doesn't know what the hell she's doing. She has absolutely no caution because you don't fucking do that shit.
Yeah.
You are asking to get a body slam from the devil.
Damn right.
And you don't need that aggravation.
I love this. She claims that he's the ghost of a Victorian soldier, but he's not willing to let her go. She claims to be considering using an exorcist to get rid of him for good. Oh, so what you're saying is that you're going to pay someone to help a dude ghost you who's already a ghost.
Yeah, she got ghosted by a ghost.
It's kind of amazing, actually. I'm at the end of my tether. I don't want to admit defeat, but it feels like being married to a ghost doesn't work.
What? Oh, what was your first clue? Oh, my Lord.
Yeah. You need to wipe better. Ugh.
Wow.
Brocardi has shared that she's been having deep, dark thoughts over the past few months and believes Eduardo is tormenting her because he is unhappy she wants him gone. She explained that she turned to a medium for marriage counseling at the start of the year, but Eduardo didn't take it seriously. He's making her life a living hell from the other side. Brocardi told her ghost husband that she wanted to see him taking their relationship more seriously. But all that happened was he ended up haunting her by using the screams of a crying baby. Well, better than waking you up, butt fucking you, and pulling your hair and doing it the Ghost Rider way.
Yeah, and is there any examples exactly what this dude's doing to her other than...
Well, there's the screams of the crying baby.
Yeah.
Let's see what else here. The singer-songwriter claims she wasn't a believer in the supernatural before she met her husband, because that's how that always works.
Yeah.
She met Eduardo when he made a ghostly apparition in her bedroom last year. The pair had a short engagement, marrying on Halloween night in an abandoned chapel, where else, and went on honeymoon to Berry Island. But the marriage seemed dead in the water before it had even begun.
This has got to be a joke.
I wish it was.
It's gotta be a
This site,
joke.
this article, this particular story of this woman has been published numerous times, all over the place. And she's got a website with links to various social media. I mean, she's a real piece of work.
Yeah.
Amazing. The ceremony had an open invite to the living and the dead, which saw the likes of Marilyn Monroe, Elvis, and Henry VIII arrive to the chapel.
Oh, my God.
You need an I Love Me coat and some serious medication.
You need to hug yourself for a good 21 days.
You know, before we normalized this shit, we used to treat it appropriately by throwing people like this in asylums so they were no longer a danger to themselves or others.
Well,
Why don't this person and Dylan Mulvaney share a cell?
yeah. Now, back in
Wow.
the day, a lot of that asylum shit, they had a lot of people in there that shouldn't have been in there. It was fucking horrible.
Well, yeah. I mean, I know someone personally who, because she caught her foster mom cheating on foster dad and was going to rat her out, foster mom, the cheating cunt, had her tossed into a mental institution.
Yeah.
Because she made it up. And obviously, because she's a foster child, she's a troubled youth. So just get rid of her so I can continue to fuck my husband over.
Yep.
It's easier than it sounds.
And it was even easier back in the day.
Yeah. Now they're trying to normalize everything, so even people who commit rampant murders, violent crimes, etc., they just get let loose on the street after 24 hours by people like Alvin Bragg, who claims that no one is above the law except for the 53% of felony cases he had reduced.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, okay. Oh, yeah. I don't know, man. This is just stupid.
But you know what's even dumber?
Here we go.
The men who give women like this attention.
Oh, yeah.
And one way that you can do it, I mean,
All right.
this is
This is so
bad.
stupid. This is bad.
This is really bad. This would be like, there was a woman recently who spent, I don't know, I think $40,000 on plastic surgery to look like a Barbie doll, and instead wound up looking like a living dead doll zombie.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Well, this is kind of the male equivalent.
Oh, my God.
5'5" man who struggled to find a date undergoes excruciatingly painful $165,000 leg surgery that involved breaking his bones just so he could add another 5 inches to his height.
And you know why it was 165,000? Because they had to do it twice. Because usually they don't go beyond 2.5 inches.
Yep. His first procedure was in 2016, and he just had his second.
What I tell you.
He's 41. Oh, but now I'm much more confident.
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, you decided to make this public.
Well, okay. Well, hang on. All right. What this person doesn't understand is this: the picture of him on the left is the way he's supposed to be genetically.
Yeah.
That means his entire body is designed around the frame that he has.
Yeah.
So then he modifies just a portion, the outside, that tuning. You don't know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
You don't know in 20 years when this dude gets old, he's going to be riddled with pain and not be able to walk because of
I would say
these
that's very
bones.
likely.
Yeah. You don't know. Or the fact that you lengthen the legs. Maybe you weaken the tendons in the ankle, the Achilles tendon. I mean, that is 5 extra inches is a huge difference, especially when your body is not designed for it.
Yeah. Yeah. 5 extra inches, 100 extra pounds. Both put excess strain on a body that is only designed for certain specifications.
He would have been better off doing a couple cycles of roids, hitting the gym, putting on 30, 40 pounds of just good quality muscle.
I mean, literally, there's not much of a difference between these two photos, except the guy on the left looks like he's kind of accepted his role as a Gumby, and the one on the right, he's dressing better. He got rid of the glasses, pierced his ears, and he just looks more confident.
Well, yeah. I mean, I got it.
Like, I know short dudes who've bagged hot women. It really has a hell of a lot to do with, more of your confidence level than it does your height.
Yeah, like if this dude he worked on his body so he could bench a 350 motor and deadlift 2 and just get ripped, women would be all over him.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, come on.
Yeah, little Mexican dudes are scoring chicks who are like 5'10".
Yeah.
I shot a wedding for one of them a couple of years ago, and as soon as I saw the two of them together, I was like, dude, up high. Oh, too high? Down here.
But I'm just saying, this is ridiculous. All right. Now, when I was a kid, I wanted to be this, 6'5", huge football playing, just crushing individual. And I was a runt. And I was killing myself trying to get big. And I remember one of my coaches sat me down. He's like, what the hell are you doing? And I'm like, well, I'm going to get big. I'm going to say, hey, stop worrying about shit that you don't have and focus on what you do have. Because I'm going to be honest, 95% of the time, all of the tools that you were given from the man upstairs is more than enough.
Yeah.
So then I just lifted for strength, and I became pound for pound in my high school. I was exceedingly strong. I mean, we're talking I was bench pressing almost 2 times my body weight.
There you go.
So, I mean, and it worked out. It really did. And
No pun
that was some of
intended.
the best advice I had ever gotten in my life.
Yeah. It really, honestly, if the women make you feel unsure of yourself just because they don't want to date you because of your height, trust me, those are not women worth your time anyway.
And they're not worth the pain and the suffering
No
and the
shit.
$165,000 to get this done.
Yeah.
Does it say what he does for a living?
Let me see here. He's from Minneapolis, Minnesota. Well, there's one of your problems. You're from leftoid country. That sure doesn't help.
Minnesota.
Talk about people who fixate on what they don't have as opposed to what they do have.
Yep.
He's 41, and he's had issues with this since he was 15 when everybody else had a growth spurt, but I didn't have one. And let me see. Oh, God,
here we
look at that. Yep. I feel
No, I
stupid.
mean,
Two
hats
presidents.
off to the guy for succeeding and being brave and going through all this. But my opinion is it's completely unnecessary.
Yeah.
It is completely unnecessary.
And really, what it all boils down to, when you look at his reasons for doing it, it all boils down to wanting to get a crack at the poon.
Yep. He wants a shot at the horizontal hugging.
You spent $165,000. You spent a mortgage hoping for
That's a house.
for a mouth hug.
Yeah.
Come on, man. It's just ridiculous. I can't do it. Can't
Hug
do
and
it.
bump.
Yeah, the first surgery added 3 inches to his height.
What'd I tell you?
So he did it again for an additional 2.
Yeah. What'd I tell you?
So this is what the surgery involves. You ready for this?
I already know.
They
cut the
broke
bone.
his tibia and fibula bones and screwed magnetic limb lengthening nails into them.
Mm-hmm.
He now has to use a height lengthening device 3 times a day, which pulls the cut bones apart 1 millimeter at a time. I'm sure that feels
Glorious.
fucking wonderful.
Yeah. Nope.
This encourages his body to create new tissue, which will fill the gap until his desired height is achieved. And then in 20 years, when his body turns against him, oh, it's going to be glorious for him. Woo!
And he still didn't even make 6 feet. He's like 5'10", 5'11".
Yep. All I can say, dude, is please don't do this again. It was embarrassing enough the first 2 times.
I don't know, man. It's just completely unnecessary.
It's cured him of his insecurities.
All right. Let's get this straight. In this particular instance, I say it was unnecessary and it was wasteful, but this is nothing like a trans surgery.
No.
Because chances are this guy isn't going to
No.
go out there and decide to hang himself or whatever.
No, I mean, long term, it's just going to make getting old for him suck that much more.
Yeah, listen,
He's not pumping his body full of things that it's not meant to have,
yeah,
which can cause all kinds of other fun and games that doctors don't like to tell these particular patients about.
yeah. And let me look. Those trans individuals literally are cutting 25 years off the end of their lives.
Yeah, minimum. Now, add the jab to that, you'll be lucky to see 50.
Yep.
Wow. Moses explained, after the first surgery, I became less hesitant and worried about the result when talking to women. I now have a girlfriend. And he says, I'd advise anybody who wants this to go for it. It's definitely worth it. I'm definitely wanting to spread the word, and if it can help other people go through it, then so be it. I'm glad.
Yeah, you know what I would spend 160 grand on?
Guns.
No, well, part of it, but like stem cell therapy,
Okay.
like having my neck and back healed, shoulders, all of the shit that has been run through the ringer, so you can get a little bit of your health back. Because I've been looking at that stuff. And
You've punished your body about as much as anybody I know. So,
yeah, and I've been looking into it, and there's a lot of positive aspects to it, but you have to go to Panama.
Of course. And you've already been to Panama once, and
Yes, I know.
be interesting to go back under different circumstances, wouldn't
I wonder if I could go and find those guns I buried.
it?
They're probably long disintegrated by now.
Perhaps. But you know what makes shit like this even worse? The female response.
Yep.
Men, dudes.
You gotta
If
stop
any
this.
of you out there have an OnlyFans membership to any of these chicks' accounts, cancel it now. Because otherwise, you are feeding into
All right.
the gluttonous ego of shit like this.
Yep.
I make thousands selling my toenail clippings. So empowering. Rebecca Blue claims that she's made a fortune not just selling toenail clippings, but anything she's touched, including skin peelings and earwax.
Yep. Oh my Lord. And there's those simpy, thirsty sons of bitches out there who throw money
Yep.
at this. And look at that. Look at
As soon as you see the neck tattoo,
You know.
what's that? 100 cocks?
it's temporary. Tattoos start with a T, so does temporary.
Yep. There is a perfect indentation of this smile on the inside of her lips from all the cack
And
sucking.
look at her arms. She's got the wizard sleeves.
Yep.
Know what that is?
She got a nice rack, but I'll give her
Wizard
that.
sleeve upstairs, inverted windsock downstairs.
There you go. Ugh. Oh, she's also selling her spit. Let's see. She sells her outfits, used underwear, and socks, but soon found an even more lucrative gesture. Skin peeling, spit, toenail clippings, and vacuum dust?
Yep.
What? So just because it was in her house, maybe it was dog shit that came in on her bare feet.
All right, go down. Let me see that picture of her again. Yeah, listen.
Oh, yeah.
She's not even that hot.
No, she's not.
Oh, my Lord.
Stop inflating the egos of these insufferable nickels.
Yeah, how old is she?
Let's see. Does she even say how old she is here? A lot of
like
these women
around
love to
25.
lie about their age. So she's got 351,000 followers on TikTok. I'm sure only half of those are bots. And she makes about $2,000 a month selling all this disgusting shit.
Okay.
And let's see. So it started as panties and socks, then it got into spit, toenail clippings, and foot peels. Webcam model from North Carolina. Okay, webcam model. You're a sex worker.
Yep.
Okay, you're not a
Exactly.
webcam model. I'd say the most expensive sell was when I sold my IUD for 4 figures.
Wow.
Ugh. How did you bleach the smell of gonorrhea off of it?
Oh!
I find it comical and also empowering that anything I touch is valuable.
Give it a few years.
No, you're talking about pathetic dudes who haven't seen pussy since they were born having a kink. That's it. If these dudes actually understood that women like you are a dime a dozen and they can literally go on Craigslist and find one for a bargain,
Well, not anymore. Not on Craigslist.
oh, they're still there. You just got to know where to look.
Ah, okay.
Quite ridiculous. Say underwear, socks, toenails, body hair, spit, body fluids, earwax, cotton swabs, trash bags, panty liners, and even used face masks.
That's nasty.
The fact that men buy this stuff, wow.
Can you fucking stop it?
They can also splash their cash on the model's bath water, toilet scrubbers, flip-flops, and makeup wipes with prices ranging from $20 to $250. Oh, it's a bargain at any price.
Wow.
Woo! Oh, we got a foot tattoo. And of course, there's a unicorn down there because she's false advertising.
Well, everyone thinks their woman is a unicorn until they meet her in divorce court. Because that horn is going up your ass, and it was really a rhino because you're going to get run over.
Ugh. My friends are huge supporters, and some have even started selling themselves. Not sure that you meant to have that particular phrasing, honey, but that's the first time you really told the truth.
Seems legit.
You're selling yourself. Ugh. Yeah, look at this. She's inked all over. I mean,
go up. Let me see that picture again.
I mean, I gotta say, honey, this is a fascinating job resume, but let's see. Can I'll take poor relationships with her father for $500, Alex.
I'll take that.
There you go.
Yep.
Show me no father at home. Bam! Ah,
Here we go.
Number one answer, son of a bitch. And any guy who buys her spit. I mean, I think $25 for cock-flavored spit is a ripoff, personally. It's just my personal opinion. I could be wrong.
Wow.
But yeah, dudes, if you know anybody who thinks that OnlyFans is the safest way to communicate with modern women, hit him upside the head, throw a straw at him, okay, and knock some sense into him, all right? All these dudes out there bitching about the dating market, complaining about how entitled and ridiculous women have become. That's absolutely correct.
It is.
But men are completely complicit in it because they're showering these women with money just for existing. Stop it!
I mean, when you think about it, it's very similar to how men act during the Wild West.
Ugh.
There was no women out there, and they would import women mostly to be whores or whatever, and like the dudes came from miles around just to hang out with them because there's no women.
Oh yeah, and then like the brothels, were basically part of the saloons.
Mm-hmm.
They'd have like the bar on the lower floor, and then they'd have the ladies of the evening on the upper mezzanine. And you'd walk in, and they'd be, there with their bustiers and their shit all hanging out and stuff. Like,
because back in the day, that was their version of the bar.
The bar.
Not a standard bar.
You ever see that movie, A Million Ways to Die in the West?
Yeah.
Where Sarah Silverman plays, well, we want to wait till our wedding night, so it's special. And then she finally lifts up. He's like, are you in pain right now? It's like, oh, I feel it. It's like, yeah, it's big, right? Yeah, you're huge. No, I mean you.
Yeah. It's a bowl of warm soup.
Looks like a firecracker wrapped in roast beef.
Wow. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's very similar to what's happening now. We have women everywhere, but they're so entitled and picky, they might as well not be there.
Yeah.
So we have all of these normal guys out there jonesing for a piece of puss because genetically that's how they're programmed.
Mm-hmm.
And all I'm asking is be a fucking human being and realize, oh, I have a brain and I can override a lot of those urges if I use this. Use this, not the head downstairs.
The one downstairs doesn't do a whole lot of thinking.
It doesn't navigate terrain well at all.
No.
And it'll put your life into a ravine.
A ravine?
Ravine.
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 That's where, like, the pronunciation of certain words in Pop's vocabulary came from, I guess. Like, I forget what episode it was, but we're talking about cats, and you said urine. There's urine and shit in a box on the floor. Urine? You mean like your personal reign? Is that what urine stands for?
I've always done that.
Yeah, well, it helps on YouTube.
Well, I create words by smashing two together or three, like bluckety.
Bluckety.
That's yucky and blah.
Ah, okay.
You feel bluckety?
Bluckety, okay.
You're blah, yucky, bluckety.
Bluckety.
There you go.
Mother Bluckety, what the fuck? What the Bluckety? Yeah, we could create a new episode of Popisms.
Yeah.
Just smash a whole bunch of random fucking words together.
I've been doing it for years.
And then random phrases that for some reason catch on in the chat, like fear the syrup.
I don't know
Where that came from and like the stream of consciousness that was outflowing of your diarrhea mouth, I have no idea. But here it is. We're like 3 months later. Everybody's still talking about it.
Well, that comment is a video I'm working on called Failed Seduction Lines.
Gonna get a taste of your syrup, baby.
It's like you walk up on her like, oh, baby, you look fine. That ass looks like 2 perfect flapjacks. But I fear the syrup.
2 perfect flapjacks, but I fear the syrup.
Come on.
Don't we all?
Yeah.
Don't we all?
Or what's another one? Bring that vagina over here.
Yeah. I'm feeling hungry. I want to eat out. Yeah.
Get over here and floss my teeth with your nipples.
Oh, God. Ugh.
There you go.
Yeah, that's always a nice little surprise that you get once in a while when you're hooking up with the ladies. Like, oh, wow, those tits look really nice. And then you get nice and close in and you're like, well, I did eat a poppy seed bagel earlier. Fuck it. Oh, good. I finally got that seed out. What? Nothing, baby. Keep going.
I'm going in.
Going to hell. We got some YouTube chats here we can take a look at. We got Mike Davis, first chat of the night here, says, Pop, Dr. Jordan Peterson said that every single time the Americans get knocked down, they come back stronger. I'd like to be the citizen who can believe that.
Okay. And
I'd like to believe it, too.
yeah, and he's not wrong.
Yeah, he's not wrong. This is the first time, though, that I think it's gotten so bad because the evil's coming from within.
Yeah, and we've literally turned our back on the school district for 20 years, and they've literally recruited an army of zombies.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all they are.
It's
useful
really, really
idiots.
bad. Homeschool your kids, ladies and germs. We got Dung is Fun says we have Freddy Krueger pop tonight for copyright reasons. He has eagle talons for knives. Cliff 3188. A lesson I learned from dealing with my own bouts of depression is to rearrange the word to look at it from above. Each step I climb to get over it, and tell myself depression's anagram. I pressed on.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. Dark Pegasus 87. Next movie night down Periscope. It's a fun movie. I've seen that one.
Yeah, sure.
With Kelsey Grammer from Frasier.
Yeah.
Not too bad.
That was a remake from an old like sitcom.
Something like that, yeah. And I want to say there was like a running gag that apparently he got super drunk on board with his shipmates one night and got welcome aboard tattooed on his penis.
Well,
Well, personally, that's a marketing thing because if you got enough room for all those words on there.
That's actually a very good dumb stuff done when drunk.
Yeah. Dudes getting their penis pierced.
Oh, no, I had one of my Rangers go home on leave and come back with a tattoo on his dick.
What was his tattoo?
Well, on the head was 2 eyeballs and the whiskers around the hole on the end. And on the side, it said tunnel rat. Yeah. And he would pull that shit out anywhere.
Of course he would.
He went whoosh in the bar, like, look at that. Look at that right there.
Did it look like the Pringles mascot?
All I know is that was like he came back from on leave and he told his buddies about it. And before you know it, within an hour, the whole barracks.
Of course.
We're walking by his room. Pull it out. I got to see it. What the fuck were you thinking, you idiot? He goes, I was drunk.
I was drunk.
Say no more.
Is that one of the only times it's acceptable without a homo suspicion point to ask to see another man's junk? I want to see your penis. It's a homo suspicion point. Me, Geyser. Well, he got a tattoo on it. All right, fine. Homo suspicion point rescinded. And let me see that too.
You show up with like 8 guys, not by yourself.
Yeah, as long as it's a group activity, it's totally fine.
Yeah.
It'll be fine.
Post your tool. Yeah. The platoon sergeant actually said that. He's like, we're in the day room. Hey, come here, post your tool. I heard about this. Holy shit.
Him and the guy who got the wart scooped off the end should get together and go bowling.
Yeah.
And the way they could play with their balls with their dicks out.
Oh, it was bad.
Shit.
Yep.
Evil Zombie Toe in the chat says, I've stopped using woke language completely. There is no trans. They only are what they are. There's no need to specify biological XX/XY. Only what they are. It forces your mind to focus on definitions and embrace reality. Oh, yeah.
Well,
I triggered a bunch of snowflakes the other day when I said, if you didn't insist on using the modifier trans, I might believe you when you say trans women are women. But because you have a modifier in there, we know they're not.
Yeah, they're not. And I for one have grown tired with this pretend game.
Yeah, I'm not doing it.
Yeah,
I'm not going to play along with Mulvaney and his sheeple. Rational irrationality. As a man, when in doubt, whip it out. Coach Greg Adams.
When in doubt.
Especially if you have eyeballs and a mustache tattooed on the end of it.
When in doubt, asshole your way out.
Damn right. Dung is fun. Don't do I buy caught with just don't do a boycott with just Bud Light. Do it with Anheuser-Busch.
Yes, everything.
You got you must have been using voice text there, bro. Has a lot of beers under their name like Bud Light, correct. There's a ton.
Yep.
Ken J 1090. My grandfather drank Busch for years. He died Saturday basically on his own terms at 79, which is a good run.
Yeah.
We will buy one last pack in his honor. We will do a redneck send-off at his favorite fishing spot. After that, done. I can understand that.
I understand completely.
Yeah. And Sean St. George, those kids who grabbed the flag at that school story will be expelled for being istophobics, and their parents will be investigated for letting their kids commit a hate crime.
And you know what's going to happen after that?
Good luck with that.
A whole ass load of lawsuits.
Mm-hmm. Like, no, sorry. You cannot force your identity on me and then invalidate my own when I say I'm not playing along.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. Smooth Criminal. Woke destroyed Halo with that stupid series.
Yes, they did.
Yeah, fuck them.
And that is their MO. There's a good, franchise.
Destroy it.
The woke virus attacks it, turns it into some bastardized version of what it was supposed to be, and normal people hate it.
Yeah. And then what do? They blame it on the toxic fan base. Do you have any idea that has become so overused, it just blends into the background now. No one even cares.
Well, as someone who writes fiction novels, with the Halo story, I could have wrote those fucking scripts or the stories that would really fucking, curdle some people's fucking heads.
Oh, yeah.
Because I know all about the killing. I know all about how war works. And granted, there's space and other planets, but at the end of the day, it's still fucking war.
Yep.
You just have to get a little creative with it, and they just couldn't do it. I mean, one of the main things when you played Halo was the fact he never took his helmet off. There was this air of mystery there. And what was it, the third video, he took his mask off so we all got to see who he was.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what? Okay. You just blew the whole series doing stupid shit like that.
Emphasis on blue.
Mm-hmm.
More woke cock. That's all they fucking care about. I don't know why the hell they think this shit's going to work. Do you think it's because the vast majority of people working in marketing and HR are women that we're seeing this shit just forced in front of everybody's faces? They're insisting it's what everybody wants.
Yeah, to an extent, you are correct. But it's more than that. It's literally all of the people who have been infected in the past 20 years by our school system are now in the real world, and we're seeing the real world consequences of basically putting idiots in charge.
Yeah. This is what happens when everybody gets a trophy and children are raised not by their parents, but by the state that has a vested interest in ripping this country apart from the inside out. Why they think this isn't going to blow up in their face and result in another tale of two cities, I have no idea, but because that's exactly what's coming for them in the end.
Yep.
I guess they're all just praying they'll be dead by then.
Well, a lot of us
in
will
which
be.
But in which case, all of this is for naught.
Yeah. Well, you do realize
It's not going to make them any money long term because it's going to crash everybody's economy.
that when this thing goes kinetic, the actual two-way rifle range kicks off, I'm not expecting to survive that,
Well,
and neither should you,
look at
because
this.
it's going to be that bad.
Oh, it's going to be bad. And the average empire lasts for about 250 years, and in 3 years, this country will celebrate its 250th anniversary. Right on time.
Yeah.
Woo! Let me see here. Sean St. George says, I can anticipate the dude who did height surgery will have trouble with their arteries and veins, leg muscles, and nerves later in life.
Yes, they will.
Oh, yeah.
You might be able to get away with doing it for like an inch, maybe
5
5.
inches?
Are you out of your fucking
He's
mind?
out of his mind. This is not going to end well for him long term. Zune 1144. Sorry, I was able to pass from 5.3 to 6.3 in 4 months. It was all hell. It was all natural for me. That surgery will kill him. Damn. So you went from 5.3 to 6.3 in 4 months? That's a hell of a growth spurt.
Wow.
The largest growth spurt that I ever had was during my junior year break between junior and senior year in high school. I grew 6 inches.
Yeah.
And I metabolized so much I lost 30 pounds. So that when I went back to school, some people who hadn't been hanging out with me didn't recognize me.
Yeah, I grew quite a bit between junior and senior year, but I still only made it to 5'8". Yeah. I grew like 4 or 5 inches that summer.
Happens fast. Tomo, Spetsnaz dropped a really good video. If you have seen it, thoughts? Love from New Zealand.
I have not seen it.
I'll have to look it up. Joe Tupac High. Hey, Pop and Blake, fight the woke from Malaysia. Oh, I think this is our first actual super chat from Malaysia. That's awesome.
Got it.
Sweet. And it's 9:17. Perfect time to take a break. Empty your squirrel bladders, refill your menageries, because we're about to jump over to New Tech for Better Butts, uncensored language. Not that we're good at that anyway. And the spicy chats, including new cards from Senior Airman Dick Fitzwell.
All right. Yeah.
Not the guy who was on Tuesday, but the guy who usurped his name. That's all
right.
But with that being said, look for those links in the chat if you're on YouTube, all 633 of you. Follow us on over. Oh, MGTOW Forever. I heard you talk about the PC game Total Annihilation in an older video.
Love it.
I played it for 25 years, and I still have it working on my computer.
Send me an email.
Hell yeah.
Send me an email.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I love Total Annihilation. I have
retro games are where it's at.
Well, it's been modified, so I mean it's way better than the original game.
Gotcha.
Like you have like up to 10,000 units on each side. The old game used to cut you off at a certain amount.
Nice.
And it has dreadnoughts and destroyers and like these huge like giant robots that you can fly around and land. I mean, it's just amazing. I love real-time strategy stuff.
Nice. All right, YouTube folks, Jimmy Bones has already posted the links. Follow us on over, especially over to MGTOW.tv, because that is the best chat on the web. And all you got to do is go there for 30 seconds and scroll up and down in the chat to see what I mean. Supporters will see Pop Sunday if you don't follow us over, and I'll see you next week. But, let's see each other in 5 minutes instead. What do you say?
Okay.
I'll miss you. Well, just don't pull your dick out. You have a tattoo on it? I still don't want to see it.
I'll take your word for it.